What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be taking a look at this week's forecast, seeing what the stars have in store for us. So, let's get into it. As always, shout out to all the Aries celebrating birthdays this week. Pay close attention to this energy, as it'll be with you all year. And this is quite some energy to have for a solar year. But before we get into that, Happy New Year. Happy Astrological New Year. Today signifies the spring equinox, the start of Aries season. And, let's just talk about Aries season a little bit. Aries is obviously the first sign of the zodiac. It's originally ruled by Mars. It really deals with initiation, establishment, the planting of seeds. And through my years of becoming astrologically activated, I find it to be a real privilege and blessing to be able to observe both calendars of the regular year as well as the astrological year. And the astrological year is really great for setting our goals and knowing how to apply them. So Aries is a really motivating energy. It's a fire sign. It represents this youthfulness, this fearfulness, courage, self-confidence, the projecting of what you want in yourself. It is also the original first house. So, at this time, like I said before, with this phase of the moon cycle, reflect on the whole year. Reflect on particular transits within your own chart and ask yourself, how have I gone about manifesting the things that I desire? How have I gone about really projecting myself into different areas of life? And how can I get better at that? Okay? So, we got a couple things to cover, but I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on this corona madness a little bit. It's a really weird time, people. And, in this day and age of everyone having a platform, if they so choose to speak their truth, there's a lot of conflicting ideas. And just me personally, I don't knock anybody's opinion, belief, or whatever. But for myself, one of my favorite quotes is, true knowledge is knowing you know nothing at all. And in times like this, that's just very so reinforced. For quite some time, we were anticipating this exact time in the sense of the alignments of Saturn, Pluto, all this energy within Capricorn. And as astrologers, star watchers, we do our best to interpret, but I think any honest person will let you know we actually know how it's going to manifest. We try to paint a picture. And I'm more so just big on understanding how to navigate the energy and play to it. Things are going to happen. That's life. But astrology allows you to know how to react and how to best apply your energy, But, just me personally, I can't tell you why this is occurring. I think that is up to you to figure out and that's a part of going within and meditating and just listening, being in silence. When you're in silence, you could hear a whole lot. You hear your intuition, and at the end of the day, it differs for everybody. So I'm not here to tell you it's a conspiracy theory, blame it on 5G or the government. I'm just here to tell you, don't panic. Don't fear this thing. If you really step back and look at the actual virus, the symptoms and everything, it's not a highly deathly thing. So that's something not to fear within itself. But as we go forward, particularly, this new moon cycle that I'm going to talk about in a few, I honestly just feel like everything in life it boils down to like karma. Not in the sense of you did anything wrong, but things just happen how they happen. These alignments happen in cycles. So if you do, get infected with this thing, it was in the cards. I believe it was in the cards for this to happen. I think it's just also a time right now we need to remember we signed up for this experience. And myself personally, me doing this, broadcasted messages to you, is a constant reminder of what I signed up for. Then I have things within my own life that I also signed up for. So you have personal obligations, collective obligations, and ultimately, it's not about this is happening to me, but rather how am I going to get past what is happening? How am I going to adjust to it? So that's my biggest message going forward. And then from an astrological standpoint, I've been honestly in my just regular mind, I'm an optimist, thinking hopefully this is over in a week, 2 weeks at the most. Based on the alignments, I do think this is going to drag on for a little bit. And let me get into it with this new moon, okay? So, like I just said, it's Aries season, a time for initiating new things, attacking, our goals in different areas of life with motivation and a renewed sense of just courage and fearlessness and confidence. This week we're going to have this new moon in the sign of Aries, and as it will go, this new moon isn't aspecting any of the regular major players. It's not aspecting Mars, Venus, anything like that. It's going to be conjunct Chiron, as well as square the nodes. South node in Capricorn, North node in Cancer. And with everything playing out right now, people being out of work, what we see here is that we're at this point within our karmic evolution where we have a choice to make, and it's like a redirection. The square to the nodes are putting in jeopardy or highlighting home life versus career and security versus the ability to earn and all of that. And for many, that is compromised right now. So with Saturn moving into Aquarius, Mars, the ruler of Aries, going through Capricorn right now, and then going to be in Aquarius, I believe this is a time of reorientation. Structures are changing. New approaches have to be made. Okay? If you're in a financial bind right now because you're out of work and things like that, take it as a sign that maybe you've been too complacent within your ways in terms of doing what you need to do. Let's say this North Node has been transiting your 10th, your 11th, your 5th, or even 1st, and you've had aspirations to become more like an entrepreneur or establish new incomes, streams of income and things like that. Take it as a sign that maybe you've been in a comfort zone too much and you actually haven't materialized that. And looking at Saturn being in Capricorn for the last 2 years, 2.5, it's really given us the opportunity to create certain structures for times like this. So, like I said before, it's not a time to worry. It's just a time to adjust, to get in there and fight, and to make something happen. Okay? So, like I said, this new moon squaring the nodes, your goals should really be revolving around how you can establish better security. How can you further take steps towards fulfillment in this particular area of life? So we all at this time need to go back to our natal North Node. Okay? Take into account where your natal North Node is. Evaluate that. Have you been fulfilling that? Look at where these nodes are right now and see the state of that house. Are you emotionally connected to this thing? Is it providing you with the security that you need? What old structures or attachments, South Node we're talking about now, need to go? Okay, where are you being held back at? And like I said, as Mars goes into Aquarius, as well as Saturn, it's going to call for an unorthodox approach, a revamping of different structures within our lives. So let's just look at Mars a little bit. Mars is going to be touching all these planets. Right now, it's conjunct Jupiter, which is, on this day, and then going into the new moon. Mars and Jupiter is great for fearlessness of taking action backed by faith, feeling very confident. Jupiter is expanding the Martian energy, okay? But you could possibly bite off more than you could chew. So I think it's really a time to act in the sense of planning, act in the sense of understanding how you could create more structure and take the steps necessary to make that occur, okay? But with it being an earth sign, you want it to be realistic in some sense, okay? Let's say this is happening in your second house or maybe your sixth house. There's a practical way to adjust to this. So financially, you may need to invest in something, or you may need to see what in your life is of value, okay, that you can expand upon. Like let's say like your house or something, that you're like, okay, maybe I should rent out my house, become an authority in that. And it's just making necessary adjustments to expand upon your Capricorn capabilities. Because honestly, what I'm getting right now is just that if you aren't an authority at this point within your life in some area, you're feeling the repercussions of everything in the government and with this coronavirus tenfold. So seek to be more of a personal authority. Seek where gain more power in an area of life. Okay? Evaluate your finances. Then Mars is eventually going to get with Pluto, which, and we're just talking in the collective sphere, it could get crazier. That's why I said I do see this thing dragging out a little bit, because Mars is a malefic, Pluto is a very intense energy. So depending on the house for you, things can get a little bit worse. But going back to the key thing, it's about fighting, putting up a fight, taking some action, not just allowing things to happen. And I can guarantee you, if you do so, you'll be better off than worrying or just succumbing to fear. All right? So overall, this is the first new moon of the year. Venus is in Taurus. Themes are value, pleasure. Evaluate where that is. Your relationships with others. Where, earning. All of this should be a focus going forward. Security is necessary. Security is vital. So, but look at the places where security has become too much of a comfort, where it stagnated you, and seek out areas where you need more security, more of a foundation, and seek to really apply your energies to that. But just a time to be motivated. Going forward, as I'll touch on in coming weeks, Saturn is going to go into Aquarius, and this is going to be big in terms of the structure in our own lives and developing a new approach towards that. Putting ourselves in groups groups are going to be key towards adding structure to our lives, to providing motivation. These times are gonna force us to come together and have to unite. So it's a lot of things going forward. Alright, but you want to look at where Aquarius is in your chart and just look at how that energy is played out for you and how you can solidify that a little bit more. So if say this is going on in your 10th house, somebody with a Saturn and Aquarius in the 10th, you could be literally quitting your job and embarking full time on whatever hidden passion that you've had. If this is the 9th house, you may be forced to move. Okay, if it's your 7th house, you're going to be getting a lot more serious about your personal relationships. You could be ending relationships and putting new ones in place that speak more to things that you're passionate about, being around people who are passionate about the same things that you are, that share the same humanitarian ideals. If Saturn is occurring in your 3rd house, you're going to have to get serious about how your hobbies are reflected in your life. Are your hobbies, are your skills, creating stability or structure? How can you get the most out of those? So it's a lot going on right now. It's a lot, but it should be fun. It should be fun. So no matter where you're at, take this time to really have some initiative and just be motivated. All right, channel this energy the best that you can. Because remember, it's not about what happens to you in life, but it's rather how you respond to it. All right. So y'all, this is my interpretation of this week's new moon. It's overall forecast. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. Chime in. Let me know what's going on in your world. Till next time. Peace.